start off in child's pose. Yeah. So take your time to find your way into the pose. This is where we start most practices. And so sometimes there's a little bit of a habit pattern that just drops you in. So try to be aware as you move into this pose. Set your knees as far apart as you feel like they need to go. Maybe you experiment. Maybe you send them nice and wide and then ease them in. Just see what feels appropriate and good for you this morning. And take a breath in, fill up. And as you breathe out, just let your heart open, your shoulder blades come together, and extend your arms forward. Spread your fingers wide, all 10 fingers spread wide, and then press your palms and your fingers into the mat. And feel the connect points there. Your hands and the tops of your feet, your shins, and your knees. And just let gravity work here for a few breaths to pull your hips down towards your heels. And pull your sternum down towards the floor. If you want a little extension here, you can walk your hands a bit farther forward and then just allow everything to settle again. Tuck your belly in to create some support for that long spine. Feel that engagement. Notice how your body feels as you tighten up that belly, as you pull the belly button back towards your spine. Notice your breath here before you change it at all. Just pay attention to it through a couple of cycles. Notice what the transition feels like and sounds like from an inhale to an exhale, and from your exhale to your inhale. And then begin to create your Ujjayi breath here, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose with some constriction in your throat so that your breath is audible, so that if you were practicing in a room with other people, they would be able to hear your breath as well, or your dogs will be able to hear your breath now. And turn up the volume of your breath even more so that your attention is completely consumed by the process and the sound of the breath. And just allow anything that was going on before you got here to drop away. And allow yourself to be fully present in each breath. And right here, set your intention for practice this morning. Something you want to take on, something you want to let go of. Maybe your intention is presence. Maybe your intention is gratitude. Whatever it happens to be, just find it. Maybe it's patience. And then once you have that established in your mind and in your heart, and once you have your Ujjayi breathing established, on your next inhale, push yourself up to tabletop. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Index fingers face straight ahead. Stack your knees under your hips. Tops of your feet can be pressed into the mat, or if you prefer, tuck your toes. The tops of the feet press feels better to me. Draw your belly into your spine and begin to work your way through just a few cows and cats. Articulating your spine where it feels like it needs to be, with an intention of keeping that belly lock and protecting your lower back, and maybe moving that upper spine a little bit more. Just a couple more rounds, moving through. And on your next inhale, come back to neutral. Draw your belly into your spine, extend your right arm to the front of the room, send your left leg back. Turn your toes down and energetically draw in towards your belly button. So pull your belly button to your spine and then extend out the sole of your left foot and the fingers of your right hand. Reach nice and long. Inhale. And on your exhale, curl it together. Maybe even grab the shin. Pull your nose to your knee. Inhale, extend out long. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. rounding your back. Exhale, extend long. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And then exhale it back down to your tabletop. Switch sides to your next breath in. Extend your left arm. Send your right leg back. Nice, long and strong. Organize. Draw into center from your core. And on your exhale, curl it in. Elbow to your knee or grab that shin. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. Draw in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round, draw in. Last one. Inhale, extend. Exhale, set it back down in your tabletop. From right here, tuck your toes, press yourself up, downward facing dog. Pressing your heart back towards your thighs, and then press your heels down towards the mat. Or sometimes I find it's a little bit more useful to visualize pressing your heels towards the back of the mat more than down. Inhale, shift forward into your high plank, and then shift a little bit more forward so that your shoulders come up to maybe slightly in front of your wrists. Draw your belly button into your spine, and then press back, downward facing dog. Do that again, but as you shift forward this time, bring your belly in even tighter. Send your shoulders forward, come up on the tips of your toes. Hold right here. Lift that right leg, toes pointed down so that your heel comes up even with your hip. Exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, lift your left leg. Engage in the leg, tuck in the toes. Exhale, bring it down. Hold for a breath. Exhale, press back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg nice and high. Press your heart towards your left knee. Lift a little higher. Exhale, bring your right foot back down by your left. Inhale, lift your left leg. Press the right heel down to the floor. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, bring the left foot back down. Look to the top of your mat. Walk your feet to the top of the mat. Step them out hips distance and find your ragdoll. So you can grab your elbows. You can let your palms rest in the elbow creases. You can move a little bit side to side. But as you do, press those feet, engage the feet down into the mat so that you have a sensation of being rooted so that the mat becomes part of your feet. And engage your legs, straighten them just a little bit more, and with your swaying, allow some ease to come into your spine. If you want here, you can interlace your hands behind your back, lift your arms up off your back for a little added shoulder opening, but keep the swaying motion. Hold for a couple more breaths, keep working through this. Find what you need here. And on your exhale, release your fingers down to the floor. Heel-toe your feet together. Maybe your toes touch. Inhale, lift up halfway. So on this halfway lift, length in your spine, internal rotation in your thighs, and again, engage in your feet so they're pressing down into the mat. Exhale, fold. Let's lift halfway again. Find that engagement, that activity, so your feet and legs are really turned on. Belly drawn in, shoulders together. Exhale, fold. Inhale, this time all the way up to Tadasana. Reach up, rise up, spread your fingers, open your heart, shoulder blades come back onto your back, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Tadasana, high mountain. Feet press into the earth, shoulders on your back, see the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. This time, plant your palms, step back, high plank. Exhale, low plank. JD's had us do plenty of these lately. Inhale for up dog or cobra. Pressing your hips into the floor for cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Let it go. Bend your knees. See the top of the mat. Flip all the way to the top of the mat. Lift up halfway. automatically coming back to that engagement, being aware of what's going on in your legs, pressing your feet to the earth. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees if you need. I won't. Lift up, reach up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center or swan dive. Fold forward. Lift up halfway as you breathe in. As you breathe out, step or float back. High to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Hold up dog, draw your belly to your spine. Press your palms down into the mat. And then from that connection, press back, downward facing dog. Walk your dog a little bit here. Pressing one heel, then the other down to the earth, beginning to bring some heat into your body. And then find some stillness. Tip of your tailbone points to the sky. Press your heels back. And then on your exhale, bend your knees, look up to the top of the mat, float to the top of the mat. Lift halfway. Exhale, fold. One more sun A here. Reach up, rise up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Step or float. High plank to low plank. Inhale, up dog. Hands pressed in, shoulders pressed back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. See the top of the mat. Float to the top of the mat. Lift halfway. Fold. Chair pose. Sink nice. Sink deep here. Send your knees back so they stack over your ankles. And then drop your tailbone down. Engage your belly even more. Arms extended or cactus. 2 breaths here. As you continue to organize, draw in, and press down. Find your grounding, find your foundation. On your exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step or float. High plank to low plank. Inhale for your up dog. Shoulders back. Exhale, back, down dog. Find warrior 1, right side. Step your right foot up. Left foot spins down. Left hip comes forward. Reach and look to the sky, and then release. High plank to low plank. Inhale for upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Left side, warrior 1. Build your foundation from the back right foot. Right hip comes forward, arms extend, heart opens, and then release that. Smooth exhale all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Breath out. Child's pose is there if you need it. Bend your knees, see the top of the mat. Go to the top of the mat. Lift halfway. Hold that halfway lift. Every time we come to this, find your awareness. Find something new. Find some more engagement in your foundation, in your legs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Hips back, hips down, heart open. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step or float. High plank to low plank. Inhale for up dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Right side, warrior 1. Left hip forward, arms to the sky. Let it go. Flow through with control. Up dog. Back to your down dog. Inhale it all the way up. One smooth breath. As you rise up, full expression. Right hip forward. And release that. High plank to low plank. Up dog or cobra. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. Bend your knees. Go right back to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Full engagement. Fold. Chair pose. Fold forward. Lift up halfway. Step or flip. High to low plank. Feel that connection between the earth and your fingers. Up dog. Shoulders back. Down dog. Warrior 1 on the right side. Left hip comes forward. Reach up, grow up, and then open out into warrior 2. Now move my right foot over so that it's in front of the arch of my left foot here. Reach back, peaceful warrior Bring opening into that right side, reach back more. Right knee goes forward, and then release it. High to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Warrior one on your left. Draw it from the blade of your back foot. Full expression, and then open out into two. So deep here. Press the mat in opposite directions with your feet. From that grounding, reach back, peaceful warrior, and then high plank, through low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in, let it go. Lift your right leg, bend your knee, stack your hip, stay here, or you can experiment with some balance. You can lift that right hand, or you can flip your dog. Then landing your feet, hips distance apart, parallel to each other. Reach that right hand forward as you press the left hand into the earth. Open your heart. Maybe come up onto the balls of your feet if you want a little bit more. For 3, 2, 1, and unflip. Come into your down dog. Bend your knees. Press your heart back towards your knees for turbo dog. And just enjoy that lengthening sensation in your back. Let your gaze settle on something not moving back between your knees. And then shift forward into your high plank. Find side plank. Start with your right hand pressed into the floor. You can drop your right knee and open up into that supported side plank. Or you can roll into the outside blade of your right foot, stacking your left foot on top. Open your heart, your hips to the sky. Maybe you lift one leg. Maybe you come into tree pose with that leg. One more breath. High plank. Hold your high plank here. Find the integrity in it, going into your belly. And then exhale back. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg high. Step it through. Crescent lunge. Nice long crescent here. Yeah. Shoulders back, heart open, hips low. Now bring your hands to your hips and squeeze in right here. And as you do, press that right foot into the mat. Feel it engage, particularly as you press your heel in your right glute. Set your gaze in front of you as you press that left heel back. Right, if you want a little bit more stability here, you can drop the left knee. And then extend your arms up. Interlace your thumbs or interconnect your thumbs. And send your hands back, shoulders back, heart up. Let's take a little deeper here. And then keep your arms bent, but drop the connection. Come out into cactus arms. And then twist to your right. Nice and tall in your spine. Hold for another breath. Inhale, come back up, extend, see the sky, stay low, open out into warrior two. Let your gaze go over your right middle finger here as your feet push in opposite directions. And pushing to the front and the back of your mat so that you feel it in your inner thighs. Sink a little lower, then reach back, peaceful warrior, and then find extended side angle. So you can bring your forearm to your thigh if that's what you're feeling today. You can bring your bicep by your ear or extend your arm up. And then if you want a little bit more, you can bring your fingers down to a block or to the mat, inside or outside. Keep opening up here, so that sensation of separating your collarbones. Reach up, see the sky. Hold for another breath. And then hold for another breath. And then on your release, come all the way down. High plank to low plank. Inhale, up dog. Heart forward. Tops of your feet press into the mat. Exhale back. Down dog. Take a breath. Let it go. Inhale, lift your left leg. Press your right heel down and then bend that knee, stack your left hip over your right hip. Find some more opening here. Maybe you take a peek back under your right armpit as you see that left foot. It's going to give you a little bit more opportunity to twist from your belly and find your balance. Or flip your dog. Turn your feet parallel here. Send your hips to the sky. Reach. Create length. Create support for your spine with your belly and with your 3 points of connection to the floor. Just soar up, full expression. Feel the front of your body open. And then as you exhale, come back to your high plank. Find your side plank. Other side this time. Left palm presses into the mat. Roll into the left foot or drop your left knee. And then bring your arm up, just as if you were pulling back a bow. Open up. See those top fingers. Lean back. Press your hips up to the sky. Maybe you want to lift the top leg. Maybe you want to stay right where you are. Maybe you fall out. And when you're ready to release, come back to that high plank. Low plank. Inhale, up dog. Heart forward. Exhale back. Down dog. Heart and eyes press back between your thighs. Find length here as you press your heels down towards the floor. Lift that left leg. Step it up. Crescent lunge. And maybe you walk that left foot a little bit farther forward and create the longest crescent of the morning here. So you're dropping your hips and then recommit to engaging your legs. Press that right heel back, left knee forward, and keep squeezing in. So repeating that process, finding where you can feel sensation. And then extend your arms up. Find the opposite connection in your thumbs, whichever thumb was behind last time, put it in front this time. And then draw into your belly and grow the top half of your body. Leaning back, see the sky. Lift your heart up. Sink into that left knee a little bit more as you press that right heel back. And then open out into your cactus arms, nice and long here. Palms facing forward, fingers spread and engaged. Draw into your belly and look to your left. This is a different twist than we do oftentimes. Keeping the length in your spine here, just to isolate the point of twist as much as you can, right from your Uddiyana Bandha, right below your belly button. Inhale, come back to center. Extend your arms up, sink low, and then spin that right foot down. Come into warrior two. Look out over your left middle finger. And then turn your palms up here. Send the left knee forward. Press the blade of that back foot even more into the mat. Feel the engagement. And then keep that left knee down. Reach back, peaceful warrior. And then find your extended side angle. I'm going to come back to the forearm on my thigh. Again, you can bring your fingers to the floor and my bicep by the ear. If you prefer, you can extend your arms straight up. So what I'm feeling in the bicep by my ear is just a lot of length being created on the right side of my body. And I'm using my left forearm to press down to open my heart. Letting that right shoulder blade come back to the left side of the mat. One more breath. And release it. High plank to low plank. Inhale, up dog. Heart and eyes forward. Exhale back, child's pose. Come right back here for just 3 breaths. Sinking your hips down towards your heels. Extend your arms out, nice and wide. Elbows up off the mat. Head resting on the mat. Notice your breath here. Notice what's going on in your body. Bring yourself back to your intention. And let go of everything that we've just done. Just begin this breath. We'll take a couple more here. And then tuck your toes. As much as possible, keep your hips from shifting forward as you press up into downward facing dog. That's been really challenging for me lately. So send your tailbone high, heart back between your thighs. Press your heels down to the floor. Bend your knees now. Look to the top of the mat. Step or float to the top of the mat. Lift up halfway. Hold here for a breath. Feel the engagement, energy going down to the earth and coming back to you through your legs. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, find your chair pose. Sink it nice and deep. So rock your hips back so that you get light in your toes. And then from this position, reground your toes, sink a little bit deeper. Bring your hands to the center of your heart, shoulder blades back. And then twist to your right. So you're hooking your left elbow outside of your right knee. If you want to find side crow, and you want to play with that, come up on the balls of your feet, release your hands, press the right hand into the floor, fingers back, left hand into the floor, and then shift over to your right as you bend your elbows, and you can stack right here, or not. Wherever you are, stay there for 2 more breaths. Inhale, come back to center. Sink nice and low. Reconnect with the floor here, shift back until the fronts of your feet get light. Press them down again, sink lower. Bring your hands to your heart. Twist the other way. So find your side crow if you want to play with it on this side or not. Your choice. It feels different from side to side. So on the balls of your feet, sink your hips. Bring that right hand to the floor, left hand to the floor, fingers point back, elbows come under your hip and thigh. And you can fall over onto your face like I did. Hold for 1 more breath. Come back to chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Step onto your hands. So bring your toes up to the creases in your wrist. And then press down into your feet, onto your hands. So maybe just rock a little bit side to side. Give your hands a little massage with your feet. And then on your inhale, lift forward. Exhale, press your heels to the ground. Straighten your legs, they're warm. Bring some length into that. Those hamstrings, don't lock your knees out. And then drop your head. 3 breaths here. If you want more, pull up more on your feet. Bend your elbows forward. Drop your head a little bit more. And step off. Find your crow pose or malasana. If you're in malasana, keep your heels about hips distance a bit farther apart. Sink all the way down. Bring your hips down as close to the floor as you can, with an awareness of your spine, staying as straight as possible. And when you get to the point where it wants to go forward, sit there and then try to ease it down little by little. If you want crow pose, plant your palms, bring your feet together, look ahead. So play with that for about 5 or 6 breaths. Crow pose, malasana, a little bit of both. Sometimes it helps me to stand up and come back in that squat. My knees have been really lit up from doing these workouts, and so this yoga is easing me back into it. It's really helping. I don't know what you're finding. And then on your exhale, fold forward, heel toe your feet back in to center. Maybe your toes touch here. Lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find your tall mountain, your Tadasana. Reach up and look up. Shoulders onto your back, belly to your spine. Let's come forward a little bit. And then bring your arms down by your sides. Find a gaze point or close your eyes. Just feel your connection to the earth here. Interact with it. So you're engaging here. You and the earth are in partnership as you're standing in this pose. And you're finding the perfect balance between engagement and ease. A couple more breaths here. And let's work through the equanimity series, the balance series. So extend your arms to the sky, shoulders onto your back. And then from here, bring that right knee up into your heart. Finding your stork pose. So your drishti is on the wall in front of you, maybe a foot or two higher than your eyes. Lift that knee up a little higher. Exhale, set it all the way back down. Take a breath in, out. Do it again on the other side. Left arms extend. When you're established there, bring that left knee into your heart as you press a right foot down. Lift a little higher. Find that full-on engagement here. And exhale, bring it all the way back down. Back to your even ujjayi. The breath and awareness, the drishti, are points you can come back to anytime in practice to resettle you. So from here, extend back up into tall mountain. Lift your right knee up into your heart. Good. And then bring your arms down by your sides. Either grab your knee, right knee with your right hand, or extend your leg out long and grab your big toes, whatever's there for you. And then bring your left hand to your hip, open out. So that right knee goes to the right side. And then challenge your balance here by extending the left hand to the left of your mat and then sending your gaze over that. Bring your gaze back to center, hand back to your hip, send your knee back in front of you, extend that leg out long, point your foot, flex your foot, lift it, and then transition into airplane. Bring your arms out into a V by your side. Point your toes down, heart open. Heel presses into the mat. Find a little up dog in your heart here. And then on your exhale, find your standing splits. Bring your fingers down to the mat. Lift that right leg high. Bring your nose to your left knee. Maybe you bring one hand or the other or both to your ankle for supreme balance. Lift that lifted leg a little higher. And then on your exhale, bring the right foot down just outside the left. Find a little IT band stretch here as you fold forward. So your ankles are crossed. Lift halfway in this cross position. Fold, uncross, and then come all the way up. Find your Tadasana. Extend it up nice and long. Same thing, other side. Press down into your right foot here. Lift your left knee up into your heart. Draw it in nice and tight. And then bring your left hand to the left knee, right hand to your hip. Open your shoulders, open your heart, shoulders together, and then send that left knee to the side. Right arm extends out. Let your gaze go right. Pressing the palm of your right hand back, pressing your knee back, find that full opening. Come back to center. Release your knee, hand to your hip, both hands to your hip. Extend that leg, point it, flex it, lift it. And then transition. Find your airplane. Or if you would prefer Warrior 3 with your arms forward, take it. I'm cueing airplane because it helps me remember to keep those shoulders together on my back, to squeezing them together as if there were a tennis ball back there. Turn that right foot on, right leg on, left leg on, and then find your standing split. Fingers reach down to the floor, nose comes to your right knee. Square your hips as much as possible, and lift that left leg. One more breath. And then on your exhale, bring the left foot down outside the right. Cross at your ankles. Fold forward. Breathe into that left IT band. Let your head hang heavy. Uncross your legs. Lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Extend just your left hand. Keep your left hand up. Bring your right hand down by your side. Palm faces forward. Find your dancer pose. You can work this from a wall if that feels good, or against a wall. Grab the inside of your right ankle or your right foot. Bring your knee in close, press it down, and then hinge and reach. Reach a little bit more forward. Kick back, that right shoulder goes back, left shoulder back too, but arm reaches, left fingers reach. A little more, find an edge, and then inhale. Nice and smooth and easy, let that go. Find your equal standing pose, re-engage, and then come to the same dancer pose, other side. Arm extends, palm forward, left hand out. Connect with the inside of your left ankle or your left foot. Left knee goes down, right fingers go up. As you hinge, let those fingers go forward. Looking over your right fingertips. Reach more, kick more, ground more. And then come back up. Nice work. Let it go. And last one, let's find tree pose. So the traditional tree with your foot into your thigh, or if you prefer figure 4 this morning, and also do a hip opener, that's there for you. So I'll do the traditional on the first side and the figure 4 on the other side. Good morning, Blaze. So bring your right foot into your thigh or across. Bring your palms together at the center of your heart. Open your hips here. Engage both feet, and then when you're ready, extend. Arms up, heart open, shoulders back. See the ceiling, see the sky. Lean back, lean back, lean back. Yeah. And switch sides. Let it all go. Find that equal standing pose. And the liberation in it, find where you are in it right now, and then find your tree pose on the other side. So I'm going to show you figure 4 here. So that ankle crosses over your right thigh, left ankle across your right thigh. Palms pressed together. Draw into your belly, and then sink your hips down towards the floor. Now if you want, you can extend your arms up here. You can turn this into an arm balance. I'm just going to sink my hips and keep my hands at heart center. Go where you're going. If you're in full-on tree, find as much length as you can. See as much of the sky as you can. And then come all the way out. Exhale back down into your Samasthiti. Find any movement that you need there. And then settle in with your feet planted and your eyes closed. Settle into equal standing, Samasthiti. I'm going to be quiet for a couple of breaths. I want you to feel what's going on right now in your body. Notice your breath. Notice your connection to the earth. And then open your eyes. Tadasana. Look up, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Step or float, high plank to low plank. Your elbows stay close in this low plank. Push your hips forward, tops of your feet into the floor for up dog. Hips to the ground if you're in cobra, and then shift back. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot up. Warrior 1. Warrior 2. peaceful warrior, and then straight leg, peaceful warrior. Pressing that right foot down and forward, right fingers back, lengthening your right side body, and then come to straight leg warrior 2. Tip forward, reach forward, and tip over into your triangle. Bring your hand down your shin. I'm working inside of my shin. If you have a block, you can put the block on the outside. Whatever you need to do to bring that top shoulder back, open. So extend your left arm up, fingers spread nice and wide. And then bring that left bicep by your ear. Lift the right arm up so the right biceps by your right ear come all the way up. And then bring your hands to your hips. Step that left foot forward. Right foot, or left foot forward so that you can square your hips. Stand up nice and tall. And then find your arm bind here. Interlacing your fingers behind your back, or reverse namaste if you're looking for even more openness in your heart. Inhale for length. Ground into both feet, and then hinge at your hips, fold forward. Bring your nose towards your right knee. Keep engaged with the earth. Now release your arm bind. Extend your arms straight out in front of you, biceps by both ears, and then bring your hands down to the floor. Step back, high plank. Low plank. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Left side, warrior 1. We've been through these poses early in practice, so just notice where you are in them now. Without expectation, feel the engagement as your legs press down into the earth. Keep that. Open out into warrior 2. Straight leg, warrior 2. Straight leg, peaceful warrior, reaching all the way back as far as you can. Bring length into your left side, and then come back and find triangle on this side. As you tip forward, reach. Bring your left fingertips down to that block, down to the inside of your shin. Press your right shoulder blade back. See the ceiling. So another option here, if your neck is tight, you can just send your gaze directly out to the side, or you can send your gaze down to your left big toe, but pick one and stay with it wherever it is. And then bring the right bicep by your ear, engage your legs, bring the left bicep by your ear, engage your belly, come all the way up, hands to your hips, step that right foot far enough forward so that you can square your hips. Right foot is still angled out at about a 60-degree angle. Nice and tall here. Find your arm bind, or just keep your hands on your hips to be aware of where you're hinging from. And then rock back into that back heel, press forward into the front foot. Lead with your heart. Nose comes towards your knee. And whatever bind you're in, release it, bring your arms out by your side just like an airplane pose. Open your heart, find a little up dog in your heart here. A little extra opening maybe in your left hamstring. And then bring your hands down to the floor, step back. Find your high plank. And then bring your knees to the floor and stand up on your knees. So let's work through a half camel. So step forward with your left foot, knee over the left ankle. Press down into your thigh with both hands, open your heart, and then you can tuck that back, those back toes, or you can, if you want a little bit more challenge, you can leave the top of your foot pressed in. Reach back with the right hand. Make that connection there with your heel, and when you do, send the right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. See this guy? Now what's happening with me is I'm getting light in that left foot, so I'm going to ground into that a little bit more. It's going to give me more ability to send that left shoulder blade back. Sort of even want to reach back over my shoulder with my arm. Hold for another breath. And then bring that hand back to your leg. Bring the right hand to the small of your back. Come all the way up. So nice and tall here. Stay in this pose. Bring your arms into cactus arms. Twist to your left. Nice and tall. And come back to center. And stay in that tall posture. Twist to your right. Come back to center. And then switch. So bring your left knee to the floor. Set your right foot forward. Keep a knee over ankle. Find your grounding here. And then I'm tucking that back toe. Again, you can do what you wish. And then from that grounded place here with hands on your thighs, release your left hand, reach it back, find that heel, and then send the right shoulder back too. Keep drawing your belly into your spine, and you can either press down here or reach back with your right hand. Let your gaze take you to your edge here, the edge of your balance, the edge of your connection to the floor. Connection to the earth. Hold for another breath or two. Then bring your hand to your thigh, right hand to your thigh, left hand to the small of your back, come all the way up. Ground that right knee into the mat. Yeah, actually, let's come back. I wanted to do the twist here. So nice and tall, arms of cactus. Twist to your right. Come back to center and go the other way. Twist to your left. Inhale, come back to center. Now bring that other knee down. Find your embryo pose just for a couple of breaths. Knees stay under hips, crown of your head comes to the mat. Hips go back, arms come by your sides. You can let the tops of your hands rest on the floor, or you can grab your heels. And then make your way out of this and come onto your back. A couple of back bends, bridge or wheel. I'm going to do 3, so I'm going to cue bridge for the first one. You can do 3 wheels if you want. I'm going to cue wheel for the last 2. You can do any assortment of these that you want, or you can do a supported bridge with a block under your sacrum and stay there for the whole time. So for bridge, walk your feet in close. Turn your toes in. For most of us, particularly me, my toes want to splay out in these poses. So the more you can close them in, the more you can activate your inner thighs going down and keep your pelvis healthfully aligned here. So lift your hips, interlace your fingers, roll your shoulders together, and come up. Now we're going to be here about 4 breaths. If you want more, you can lift a leg and bring it back down. You can cross your legs, lift your hips that way. That's a nice hip opener too. Or you can just stay here and continue to grow, to explore that basic shape of bridge pose. One more breath. And on your next exhale, stay if you want, or come all the way down. Just take one breath in, breath out, and then back to bridge or wheel pose. So in wheel, pressing all parts of your palms down into the mat as much as possible. Elbows over wrists, and then come up. So from that position, it's much easier when you get your elbows over your wrists because you're just pushing down. There's no angle. And then straightening your arms, press your heart through, and then pay attention to your feet. Mine want to splay out. So I'm turning my toes in a little bit more, internally rotating my thighs. For 3, 2, find something more here. 1, and then let it come all the way back down. Breath in, breath out. Last back bend of the day. Wheel, bridge, go. Choose it and go right to it. Nice. Keep turning your toes in. Keep internally rotating your thighs. Beautiful. And straighten your arms a little bit more. Open your heart. You've set up the whole practice for separating your shoulders here and opening your heart for 3, 2, 1. Bring yourself all the way down. Find Supta Baddha Konasana. Lying on your back. Soles of your feet come together. Knees come out nice and wide. Bring your left hand to your heart. Your right hand to your belly. Let gravity pull your knees down. Give yourself about 3 breaths for your breathing and your heart rate to come back to normal. And then open your eyes and rock up into Navasana, into boat pose. So wherever you are, lift your heart. In fact, you can even start and stay with your feet on the floor. So lifted heart and separated collarbones are key. And then you can lift supported, hands behind your thighs, or you can extend your arms out, and you can straighten your legs. Just a few of these, just a few breaths here. Continue to integrate, to draw into your belly, lift your heart, find your canoe, flex your feet, look through the space between your big toes, and come back to your boat pose. Canoe, boat, canoe. And then open your legs out so that your heels are even with the corners of your mat. Come back into the last boat. Pull your knees and your heart roll forward and back. And make your way into downward facing dog. And from there into pigeon. Unless you're working pigeon on your back. If you are, just go there. Tailbone goes up to the sky, hands press down. Press your heels to the mat. Enjoy some of the lengthening that you've created in your hamstring. Find some ease in your spine. And then lift your right knee. Bring that right knee or right leg. Bring your right knee behind your right wrist. And take some time here just to let your hips settle. Flex the right foot to protect your knee. An extra breath or two, just tucking those left toes and sending that heel back and allowing your hip to come down to the floor is going to pay dividends as you release down to the floor. So extend that left foot and then hinge at your hip crease, fold forward. Bring your head to something, to the mat, to a block, to the tops of your hands. Extend your arms and breathe. Now there comes a time when you'll feel stuck, perhaps. And so there are a couple of things you can do. You can tuck those back toes, send the heel back a little bit more, and that'll lengthen the leg and give you a different angle to settle your hips. And even more importantly, you can just release. Bring your awareness to that sensation in your right hip. With a noticing for exactly what it is. And not trying to make anything more of it than just a sensation. With an intention of releasing into the sensation. And then begin to walk your hands back in towards you. Roll onto that right hip. Swing your left leg around. Let's find double pigeon. So we're fire log. You can stack that top leg, top shin, on your bottom shin. So left on right here. Or you can stack it in front. if you find more freedom there. Sit tall, ground both sit bones. Your left is going to want to come up a little bit, so maybe you rock over into it and make that connection. And sit tall here, and maybe this is where you stay, or maybe you hinge forward. The secret on this, for me, is if you lean over and look at that left knee, as if you were just checking to see if it's skin up or if there was something on it, then you can ease back in, slide back in here, still keep that left sit bone pressing down. And relax. So your choice here, if or at what point you want to round your spine, I would suggest keep your spine nice and straight until you don't feel any more fold coming, and then just release. Hands can be on the mat behind you, beside you, or extended in front of you. And then make your way back up. Roll onto your back. Find your happy baby. Bring those knees down towards the floor under your armpits. Press your sacrum and your shoulders into the mat. And then release. And then rock up into down dog. Up into your down dog as you prepare for pigeon on the left side. So take a breath or two here in your dog, grounding your hands, tailbone high, shoulders soft, heels pressed down. Notice what you created in the right hip with no expectations for the left. Lift the left leg and find your pigeon on this side. Now my tendency is always to rush the second side. Maybe yours is too, I don't know. So square your hips. Sit tall, tuck those back toes. Allow your hips to get low to the floor. And then hinge at your hip crease. And bring your heart and your head forward. Maybe extend both arms forward. And let your head rest on your hands or on the mat. Keep sending your breath into that left hip with an intention of releasing into the sensation that you're being offered here. Just walking into it with full acceptance. And with the faith that you're doing this for a reason, that it's something good, that you'll learn something. And then begin to make that transition, bringing your hands back in, roll into that left hip, swing your right leg around. Create that series of right angles here, and then stack right shin on top of the left. Yeah, sitting up nice and tall. And I need to shift my hips over to the side so that my right one, over to the left side, so that my right one goes down. And then from this tall seat, hinge forward. Maybe you look at that right knee, however you need to get into it. Keep your feet flexed to protect your knees. And move into this actively so that your inhale lengthens your spine and grounds your sitting bones. Your exhale finds you a little bit more fold. last 2 breaths. And then begin making your way out and roll all the way back onto your back. Just extend your legs straight up to the sky. Maybe you bring your hands underneath your hips or a block underneath your hips. This is going to be our inversion this morning. Just let the blood come back down out of your legs into your torso. If there's another inversion that you want for about 4 or 5 breaths, take it. Engagement remains in your belly. Softness remains in your shoulders. And then your gaze up towards the sky. Maybe you'll choose to press your heels up towards the sky a little bit more. Breathe some length into those hamstrings that you've stretched. And then when you're ready, on your exhale, bring your feet down to the floor. Extend your left leg out, nice and long, flex that foot. Pull your right knee up into your heart. And then drop the right knee across your body. Guide it with your left hand. Extend your right arm out. Let your gaze go towards your right fingers. Inhale, bring that right knee back in. Give it a tight squeeze. And extend it out long. That right leg extends. Bring your left knee up into your heart. Bring in. And then draw it across with your right hand. Extend your left arm. Drop that knee towards the floor. And inhale, bring that knee back into center. Squeeze it in nice and tight. Bring the right one in beside it. So your right hand's on your right knee, left hand's on your left knee. Draw them in. And then wrap your arms around both knees. Draw them in even tighter. Take an inhale. And then exhale. Let it all release as you extend your legs out. Find a place to be still for the next 3 minutes. Maybe you put something under your knees so that they stay bent. Maybe your legs are straight. You just drop your feet out to the side. Arms out by your side at whatever angle they feel comfortable. Take a breath in together. Open your mouth, sigh it out. And then let go of your belly lock. Let go of your Ujjayi breath. Let go of doing. Let go of moving. Let go of everything. Just feel gravity's pull on your body. And surrender to it. You've done your whole practice for these breaths here. Take your Shavasana. your fingers, small movements, being completely aware as those movements transition into your hands, your wrists, move up your arms. You find movement in your toes, your feet, your ankles, your legs. Take a long stretch. Point your toes, reach your fingers as long as you can over your head. And then roll over onto your favorite side, your left or your right. Pull your knees up into your chest. Let your head rest on your arm or on the mat. Come back to your intention that you set for practice. Notice how it's showing up now. Is it gone? Is it stronger? Is it different? You decide if you want to carry it with you through the rest of your day, or if it's best to leave it here. And keep your eyes closed. Press yourself up to seated. And take a couple breaths to find your seat and to sit tall in it. Just another place to be in inquiry, another place to be in noticing. The work you've done in your body this morning turns it on, wakes it up. Just notice the information that it's sending you. And then bring your hands together at the center of your heart. And then make a connection here between your sternum and your thumb knuckles. And then lift your heart up a little bit more, shoulders onto your back. Thank you all for practicing this morning. Thank you for continuing to find ways to strengthen this community, whether we're side by side or hooked up electronically. Because I feel your energy, and it is significant. So light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Bring your thumb knuckles up to the center of your forehead. And namaste.
Namaste.